Owen always sat at the back of the classroom, not because he didn't care, but because it was easier to disappear there. He was the quiet type, bright, observant, but unsure of himself. He believed that speaking up would only draw attention to everything he feared about himself. The stutter that sometimes slipped out, the way his hands shook when he was nervous, the doubt that whispered, "You're not enough." His teachers called him shy. His classmates barely noticed him. But Owen had a world of thoughts swirling inside, stories, ideas, questions he was too afraid to ask. One day, his English teacher, Mrs. Keller, handed out an assignment that made his heart race. Write a one-page story about anything. You'll read it aloud to the class this Friday. Owen froze. The thought of standing in front of everyone made him feel like he couldn't breathe. That night, he stared at the blank page for hours. Part of him wanted to give up, to fake being sick, to avoid it all. But another part, quieter, deeper, told him to try. Just once. So he wrote. Slowly at first, then with growing rhythm. He wrote about a boy wandering through a storm, invisible to everyone, until he finally lit a fire and others began to see the light. It wasn't perfect, but it was honest. Friday came too quickly. His hands were clammy as Mrs. Keller called his name. He stood up, walked to the front, and faced a sea of blank faces. His heart pounded. He looked down at the paper and began to read. The first sentence wavered. The second was stronger. As he read on, the classroom grew silent, not from disinterest, but attention. His story wasn't loud or dramatic, but it was real. By the time he finished, no one said a word. Then someone clapped. Another followed. Soon, the entire room was applauding. Mrs. Keller smiled and said softly, "That was beautiful, Owen. Thank you for your voice." For the first time in his life, Owen felt seen. Something shifted in him after that day. He still got nervous. His hands still trembled sometimes, but he kept writing, and little by little, he found the courage to share more. Years later, Owen became an author, not the kind who shouted to be heard, but one whose words made people feel less alone. Because sometimes, the quietest voices are the ones the world needs most.